And here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today.
We're just starting them on second cut. They want the grain. When they got second cut, they're going to get more out of the feed and they're going to probably pass it quicker. If you don't know, you should test the feed and get a hold of a real good nutritionist.
All brand new.
I want to know how many other people have that trouble.
So let's get started.
So Lynn says we're about 6 weeks away from having lambs. Probably a little longer than that, but 6 weeks we could have a lamb. I'm thinking it'll be a little later. Anyways, we're just starting the sheep on. I'll just show you for a second. We're just starting them on second cut because it's a higher quality of hay and it's a little softer, and it'll be better for the development of the lambs at the last of their pregnancy. So just starting that today. It's a beautiful bale. Looks really good. So we'll see how they like it. So just I gave them a half a bale. That bale right there is going to go in that barn over there. So got a half a bale left. It actually smells extremely good. But they're not that crazy about it. I guess they're all eating. But when I look at the sheep, how crazy can they be? They're in fantastic shape. So, but it will be a lot higher in quality. So basically, the fiber levels will go down, less fiber. And it will be more protein. So more, I think you would say more bypass. So it should be good for the lambs. And see, they're actually crying because they want the grain. When they got second cut, grasses and alfalfa, it's driving me nuts. Anyways, I'm gonna move this bale here to the other barn, and we'll see how they do with it. That's first bale of second cut. I would guess it's about 2/3 alfalfa and about 1/3 grasses, and most of the grasses in that are orchard grass. If you know what orchard grass is, it's a different type of grass. So like I said, what's really happening now by feeding second cut is the fiber level is going down. So there's more protein available to the ewes, and it's a higher source of protein. And I guess you would call that the bypass is higher. So they're going to get more out of the feed, and they're going to probably pass it quicker. The only thing that's, when I say the fiber levels are going down, I'll show you what I mean by the fiber levels. So fiber, if I say it correctly, fiber levels in hay is the coarseness of the hay. More or less the lower quality hay. Some people would kind of make it bypass it for the scratch ability. So sheep are ruminant animals. So if it's too fine, they really won't like it a lot. They want to have a little scratch. So when that rumen is turning, it's actually scratching a little, and it does a better job digesting the feed. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just, over years of working with animals, you start to learn a little bit about it. And I'll show you what the difference is right now. So if I show you this here, so this is alfalfa. You see the coarse stems there? I'll just bring this over here and I'll show you the difference. So I'll get more into the grassy part here. Actually, this is probably all alfalfa. Yeah, actually, so that is the fiber there. It doesn't hold a lot of value. It's a scratch. They have to have a certain amount of that. And if you look at this piece here, well, it actually has a little bit of coarseness too. So yeah, it's hard to show it there. Actually, what I should do is see, they're already looking for the grain, eh? Like yeah. But I'm extremely happy of the condition of the sheep. So, but I'll show you what I mean by fiber levels and the scratch ability. That's a chunk of alfalfa right there. And so there, I'll show you the difference there. So you see the difference in that and that. This is actually a little more grass, less coarseness, and that's a little bit more fibery, a little bit more coarse. But if this becomes too fine, they won't like it, and they want to have it a little bit stemmy, not real stemmy. It's a fine line. These guys are really irritating me right now. Can't even have a conversation. So anyways, so we let the second cut get a little bit in the flower stage. So it gets a little bit more fibery than you can cut it real fine. So we let it get it's hard to explain. We let it get a little bit into the blossom and then we take it down. So we'll see how they respond to that in the next week or two. I'm sure they'll do fine. And the sheep are in fantastic shape. I'm just concerned about the last 6 weeks of developing that lamb, that lamb gets developed correctly. So today's the first day they went on second cut. And I can't talk in the barn because they're driving me nuts. But if I look at this here, believe me, there's not a thing wrong with that hay. It smells perfect. But see, they're just fussy, and they want some grain. Do you want grain? Do you want grain? So you don't want that sheep any heavier, because that's where, in my experience, that's where the prolapsing starts. They just eat themselves, blow themselves right up. And so far, I've had really good luck. No one's got in trouble. So I'm gonna head to another barn. And we're going to feed a bale of first cut hay. And the other barn, we're going to feed the other breeding group, we're going to feed a bale of first cut because they were bred, had the ram in there about 2 weeks later than this group. So since I have so much first cut hay left, I think I got, I think I probably have maybe 100 to 200 bales of first cut hay left yet in wrapped form. And I want to keep feeding that, because that would be my worst quality. So I'm going to try to feed as much as I can out of that. And this pile in front of me is all second cut. And you remember in the fall there, when we were baling hay, there's 340 or 60 bales, or 240 or 60 bales of third cut over there. That will probably save that hay when they have the lambs. They give them a really high protein diet, let them form lots of milk. if you understand what I'm talking about. But right now, I'm going to go and feed another bale of hay. So that's a bale of first cut. And you can see it's like that stem there probably doesn't hold any value at all. All that would do is keep a sheep alive. The same as that right there. So there's a head of the orchard grass. I'm going to guess it hardly has not much value at all. There's another head there. Just doesn't have any value. But in here, you see if you go like this, I don't know if you can see it, but there's all the alfalfa right there. And that's where all the value and the protein would be in. So this is first cut. It's actually really good hay. They would probably eat this a lot better if it went through a TMR system and got chopped up. They would probably consume the whole thing. We have a friend called Brandon, and I think that's what he said. But you can see that that bale, yeah, it's actually great hay, and it's actually soft. It just should have been baled a little earlier. So there's all your fiber, and that's where you've lost your quality of the hay. That probably should have been baled like 10 days earlier, maybe even 2 weeks. I say 10 days would have made a big difference if that was baled earlier. And that's my fault. I just couldn't get going. So like I said, I should have just baled it earlier, but I just couldn't catch up. Where when I'm making hay, I should probably have someone helping me that we can move twice as quick at that time of the year. But that's first cut. That's all I'm trying to explain. And until I get in trouble, I'm not going to test any feed at all. Now we did have a car tour here. What was it, last spring from Quebec? And some of the people on that car tour were saying, well, if you don't test your feed, how do you know? Or guess how are you going to educate yourself to do better or what you're looking for? And that kind of went right over my head. I wasn't soaking that in. But it was a girl. She did have a real good point there. If you don't know what you're looking for, you probably should start testing your hay. And the people that test your hay will explain to you what is wrong with your hay and how you could have done a better job, or how you could have cut the hay better, or how you could see different types of grasses that do better in your form of feed. But I shouldn't pat myself on the back, but after years of doing forages, I just couldn't waste my time sampling feed. It's not cheap. And what I found with, I'm going to say something negative right now, and it's negative, yes, is some of the people that were testing my feed, they took a test that wasn't really perfect, and they just blew it right into a custom feed mix and adding this and this and that and this and that, and they made it so expensive and so complicated that I just couldn't see the results in that. So some people really took advantage of that. They don't do it anymore because they know me, and I'm looking at the same numbers they're looking at, so I'm pretty well understanding it. So they don't do that pull the wool over your eyes anymore with me. I pretty well get what's going on. But anyways, if you don't know, you should test the feed and get a hold of a real good nutritionist that you have a good relationship with, that you are on board with, and doesn't take advantage of you, because that seems to be our nature of us, to take advantage of people. But anyway, that's first cut hay. Going to quit talking. That's going into a breeding group that's bred 2 weeks later. They're going to keep giving us hay for the next 2 weeks, and then they will be put on to second cut hay too. Talk to you shortly. So there's that first cut bale out. I'll just say one thing. So sheep, or all animals, need a certain amount of protein to do well. And since we feed whole corn, just whole corn, these sheep are relying on the protein from that forage. So the higher we can get that protein level in that forage or the haylage, or the baleage, the better it is for us. So that's why we put the pregnant ewes now on second cut, higher in protein. Better for the growth of the lamb at the last of the pregnancy. But let's show you this bale for a second. So there's the bale there. So, and you can see all the clovers in it and stuff like that. And there's alfalfa. Just all alfalfa right there. So that's that bale is going to test way better than just straight grass, just straight first cut grasses. But we aren't testing it. So I said I would test it, but I'm not going to. But if someone really wanted to know, I probably would test it. If there's a lot of interest in that, I would test my hay. I'll spend the money and test it if there's a lot of interest in that. But there it is. They're all eating it. And I had a couple real good nutritionists helping me over the years. And they always told me, it says, just watch those animals. If that hay's not good, they won't be eating it. And you can see they're all gorging out on it. And yeah, the color is right. It's fermented. It's turned brown. It's cured in the bale. So these, like I said, these group of sheep here in this barn were bred. Had the ram 2 weeks later because we can't lamb them out all at once. So they're 2 weeks later, and in 2 weeks they will start to get second cut too. And I can tell you right now that second ewe right there, she had a lamb in May. We pulled the lamb off her in the middle of summer, and she still hasn't rebounded to her correct body weight. If she doesn't, like I said earlier in some of my videos, if she doesn't get bred, I wouldn't hold it against her. She'll just have a winter off. But that's the problem. She couldn't respond back enough in the weight, and I'm giving these guys pretty heavy grain right now. There's a couple in here. But you see the first one is in good shape. No split in the wool. Split in the wool. No split. That tells me that sheep has got less muscling on it. Less flesh. See that? There's Lynn's pet sheep with that dot. Good shape. Good shape. No part in the wool. See those two there? No part in the wool. I can guarantee if I put my hand in their back, they're good and fleshy. There's one there that had a late lamb. Struggling a little bit. I'm just quite curious if they'll actually get pregnant or not. But we probably could have done a better job on that. A lot of these lambs are all first timers. And they're all nice and fleshy. All got nice backs on them. Now that ram there, that's the ram, and he's not in the greatest shape. He's in good shape, but he's he's a little attitude on a guy. But he's not in our greatest shape. But we had him in the pasture, and he got some parasites, so we had to deworm him. And then, yeah, they lose weight, and now we're on the rebound. So, that's an old ewe there. She's not in the greatest shape, but she's got age against her. First timer. First timer. So, anyways, that's my little lecture. Oh. Got a little can here. Meow, meow. How you doing there, big fella? Come on, Ben, leave the cat alone. So that's my little lecture on hay today. So if that helps you any, because I'm just telling you what's happening here today. Today's a cold, dampy, cloudy. 25 days to Christmas, and it's feeling like it. Talk to you shortly.
Well, it looks like I'm never in the videos anymore because Arnie's pumping out so many videos that I spend my entire day trying to get videos made And as soon as I complete one, I come out here and he's up to something else. And right now, it's about lighting our Charlie Brown tree. Because last year we had this one with decorations on it, but it's too big for him to reach now. So we're starting on our little one. But when he went to get the lights that we just bought last year,
Brand new lights, brand new lights. They worked last year for about a month. Plugged them in, and they're half burnt out. And they're pretty well all like that.
and that's this many, 1, 2, 3, 4 strings of them, all brand new.
And I want to know how many other people have that trouble. And those lights right there
The ones on our
are 30
porch.
years old.
Yeah, these are the ones where they say, oh, they're not energy efficient, and you actually buy bulbs and you screw them in. These are like 40 years old, and we have luckily a whole bunch of bulbs still. So if ever a bulb burns out, like there's one above the little birdhouse here, we'll take that out and we'll replace it. And they work forever. Maybe they cost more hydro, but I can tell you, 4 strings of lights cost several $100s, and it didn't cost us that in electricity on our porch. So he's been cursing and cutting out pieces of the cords and splicing them together, and now he's going to drown our little Charlie Brown tree in 100,000 lights.
They want us to save hydro, and they got Toronto lit up like Fort Knox.
And every other city. There's way worse cities than Toronto.
That's it.
But they make lights that don't last. And even in our barn, they're all LED lights that are supposed to last like 20 years. And we replace them every year. Every year, and they cost, 20 times the price of a regular light bulb. There's something seriously wrong with that picture.
Well, the Canadian government is going around the world trying to save the planet.
It's not the Canadian government.
It doesn't matter what government's in power.
Doesn't matter what. It's not Canada either. It's the whole world. Because I'm pretty sure. Oh well, I can guarantee these Christmas lights are not made in Canada, because Canada doesn't make anything. Say it again.
Huh?
Say I remember.
I remember when I was a kid. My grandmother used to hand down the lights to me. She said we bought these back in the 1930s. With that cloth on the bulb. You used to have a light bulb, and they used to put that fuzzy cloth on and make it look like what was that, angel wool? I think it was called.
Oh.
Now I can barely hand the lights to my son. They don't even last that long.
You can't hand it to anybody. But I mean, it's just as well, because if you could hand the light bulbs down now, they'd put an inheritance tax on it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We're out here. These are all the corn cobs that Arnie brought off the field the other day, and we're sitting on in a pile on the porch. They're all here, and they make a nice decoration, and they keep the blue jays fed for probably the whole winter. We'll see how long it takes them to go through all of those cobs of corn.
See, the first thing a farmer would say is, gee, Ernie, that's a small cob. 280 bushel an acre.
Yeah, hard to believe.
Figure that out.
Those are
Has nothing to do with size.
size matters, Arnie. It's long and thick.
Hey guys. Well, let's get going. Hey, Ben. You have been a bad dog, Ben. You were biting ears. Got to show you this nice Dorset we have here. This Dorset right here is an RR. Nice head. There he is. Huh. There he is. Maybe I'll get the halter on him and show you what he looks like. Oh, Bob. There he goes. How about? There he is. So, just doing chores tonight, and I'm going to have to make it real short here. There's some bad news and some good news. So, just to bring you up to date, about a year and a half ago, Lynn asked me to do a little filler because she had no time. So, to give her a break, the kindness in me, I took the camera and did a little video. That was about a year and a half ago. And Lynn says now it's becoming a takeover, like a hostile takeover. So this might be my last broadcast history. So Lynn says I gotta take a month off, and after a month she'll reconsider if I can come back onto the YouTube Ewetopia Farm broadcasts. So month off for me, and if I come back, she says she's only give me 1 to 2 minutes a day. Restrict me to how much I can talk. So at that note, I guess we're going to call that a night. And give a like, give a click, subscribe, and tell a friend. Greatly appreciate it. And have a good evening. And heads up, if I'm taking a month off, Mexico, here we come.